This is Brandon with Fleet Feet, and today we got a good one. This is the New Balance More V5, the King of Chonk, the max cushion king, the best of the best when it comes to just that pillowy, soft, very high cushioned feel. Now, this is the women's model and this is the men's model. This men's model is more of like an industry all black colorway, and you've got this like minty chocolate chip mint colorway going on here with this like lavender accent in there. Now, this is the max cushion daily trainer from New Balance, and it resides on the fresh foam side. Of course, you could tell with all this chonk, it's got to be on the fresh foam side. And now it's on its 5th version. And I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorite daily trainers every year. I am someone who loves max cushion shoes. I like high stack options. I like that cushioned and soft pillowy feel. So the more has always worked for me. But you're not just gonna be hearing from me and my opinions, you're also gonna be hearing from the Fleet Feet review team. You're gonna hear from Tony, Nate, Kate, and Caroline, and hear some of their thoughts and what they thought about this shoe. And while Hoka may have been one of the first to develop high cushioned and softer running shoes, who is sort of the king in the max cushion world right now? Who's the one who's sort of winning it all? Is it New Balance? Is it another brand? I guess we'll just have to find out and see. But before we go any further, please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps continuing to support the page and making sure that we can continue to get out great videos for all of you. Now, moving on to the upper, the tongue is gusseted and well padded. The heel collar does have some padding here. The shoe does fit true to size, and it has a mesh upper. And one of our reviewers, Kate, actually had a lot to say about this upper, and she found that she ran a lot of miles in the 4th version, and in the 5th version, she found that the fits were pretty different. And she found that the 5th version of the shoe was pretty wide for her. And one of our reviewers, Caroline, found that while the shoe fit really snug overall, it was just a perfect amount of fit in the toe box for her. And with how comfortable and padded the heel collar and tongue are, it just reminded Caroline that this shoe, above all else, has a focus on comfort. And I found that this shoe was pretty snug for me. It definitely wasn't too much on the wider side, even though Kate did feel this way. For me, it did fit true to size and it fit very snug. So between myself, Caroline, and Kate, we all kind of had different opinions and mixed reviews on the upper and how it fit. And the best thing that you can do to figure out whether this fit is best for you is to go into your local Fleet Feet store, go through the fit ID process, get your foot scanned, and go through the outfitting experience to find out whether this shoe is going to fit best for you. But now let's move down to the midsole. Now, the midsole has very high sidewalls, which just cradles your foot in for a little bit more of a stable feel. And it does have a slightly wider platform than last year. But overall, you do get that nice plush sink-in feeling that you remember from the previous models, and even more so in this one. And for Tony, this isn't really the type of shoe that he would usually go for. He usually likes a firm or more sturdy option, but he couldn't deny the fact that this one was just a ton of fun for him. And Caroline thinks that she's alone in this, in saying that she's someone who prefers a more max cushion option over a firmer option. Caroline, I'm here to tell you that you are not alone. I'm also someone who likes max cushion shoes. So between Caroline and I, we definitely enjoyed a little bit more of a plush and overall more cushioned and higher stack ride. And she found that that little bit of touch of softness is similar to that of the 1080 V13. Go figure, that makes a lot of sense. There's fresh foam technology in the 1080 V13 as well as in this model. And the overall stack of this shoe comes in at 44 millimeters in the heel and 40 in the forefoot for a 4 millimeter drop. Now, this is 2 additional millimeters than that of the previous version. With 44 millimeters, this is a very high stack shoe. But with all of that high stack, is it stable? Well, if we move down to the outsole, you could tell that there is a nice, wide, stable platform for a nice landing. That wide base is going to create a nice stable ride. But the outsole is usually an area and an opportunity to reduce weight, and that's something that New Balance has decided to do here. Even though that there is outsole rubber coverage, it isn't full length and it doesn't cover the entire bottom of the shoe. This is an area that they tried to just cut a little bit more weight. But with the more vertical outsole design, you can tell that it was just made for pushing forward. Now let's move on to the ride and performance. And Kate found that this shoe is just a solid recovery day shoe, one of those easy run shoes And if you're someone who's just a max cushion fanatic and you just love those soft, pillowy, big midsole feels, then this is a great option. And she found that this really worked well for long run days. And one of our reviewers, Nate, who generally likes lower stack and firmer shoes, remembers testing the last model of the shoe and just found that it was just way too soft for him, almost to the point of unstable. But he finds that with the wider base of the V5 and how they firmed up the foam just a little bit more in this version, it just adds a little bit of that stability and responsiveness that he was looking for and missing in the V4. And he does confirm that, to Kate's point, this is a great recovery day shoe. Now, with all of this stack and all of this cushion, it's gotta be a heavy shoe, right? Well, not exactly, especially for all this stack. The weight of this shoe comes in at 321 grams and 11.3 ounces. Now, that is a little bit on the heavier side for daily trainers, but you're getting a lot more cushion underfoot, you're getting a lot more ground feel, and for a shoe that's just for easy days or long run days or recovery days, it doesn't really matter what the weight of the shoe is so much. And the price of this shoe comes in at $155. Other shoes that rival that price tag in this range are going to be the Brooks Ghost Max 2 at $150, the Hoka Bondi 8 at $165, and the Asics Nimbus 26 at $160. All shoes that fall into that max cushion daily trainer category. But if you want to try this shoe on for yourself, you can go into your local Fleet Feet store and check it out and try it on. Or you can go online at fleetfeet.com. And if there are other shoes that you want us to review or compare against each other next, please drop those in the comments below. But if you want to learn more about this shoe or other New Balance shoes in general, you can go onto the blog at fleetfeet.com and hear from all of our review team. And as always, make sure to follow us on all of our social channels wherever we might be.